Hey guys, how's it going? Back with another video. We did see that break below the 21-week moving average on our great log scale chart. I kind of thought I had hope that we could just bounce off and really just start continuing up just because it's a new paradigm, but Bitcoin's the type of asset that inflicts maximum pain on its traders, so that's why we always want to be risk adverse. Before I continue, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. Simply sharing my trading thoughts and my opinion on, the technical analysis side of Bitcoin. Just sharing my opinion. A lot of times I am wrong, but like I said, when you trade, if you have a good trading strategy, even on losing trades, you can benefit. Like, the last video, we were pretty bullish. We thought we were going to get a bounce up here, break out of this descending triangle, and just really shoot up and continue onward. But we also briefly talked about that strategy on what would happen if we saw bearish. If we saw a break below that 21-week moving average. So go check out that video below. Just to summarize, what I talked about was selling below this 21-week. If we broke below it, you sell, you tether up, and then you start buying back around $8,000 to $8,300. So we scaled back in a little bit just because we believe that we're gonna get at least a retest of this $9,300 region, either reclaim it or we're going to get a rejection and we're going to kind of start moving down again. And is it possible that by the time we get to this line that this 21-week moves down and we see another, it serves as a heavy point of resistance and we get rejected? Yeah, it's absolutely possible because now that we're under it, if you look right here last time, that 21-week and everything, they were pretty close to each other. Saw a rejection. Right here, you saw a rejection. So right now, I'm actually kind of bearish because, at least in the short to intermediate term, because we need to see Bitcoin reclaim some sort of price action over the 21-week to really be bullish again and get ready for that continuation towards this, these black lines, which are monthly resistant lines that I drew out. So this big monthly resistance candle right here, and happened right where we topped out. We talked about this serving as a huge resistance point, and we did see that rejection. So and these blue ones are actually weekly resistant points, and the red one's a daily one I drew. But we scaled in a little, and we're expecting to sell right here just in case we get a rejection. And I think that next point we want to look at, we want to look at 7,300, but I think there's a very, very realistic possibility that we hit 6,500, and if we can't hold that as support, may tether up and we may go back to 5,000. Really at the beginning of this kind of bull market, that first pump we saw, it was that first day of the second quarter, we really saw a big movement up, and I think we could consolidate for quite some time now. So it's quite possible we hit 65 or even we hit 5,000. And is it possible that we see this 200 and this 5,000 meet and we bounce off it again? That's something I'm entertaining again, just because we saw that break below the 21-week. We take it, one step at a time. But if you ask why I don't think in the short term, well, we just had a massive sell-off, and why we're not just going to keep going lower. It's possible, but I do want to bring to your attention this 100-week moving average that is holding as support, and we've seen it hold as support in the past. In the last run, it did the exact same thing. Oops. Okay, sorry about that. But anyways, so in the last run, we saw the same thing happen right here, and we got a break over the 100-week just as we have now. We saw a little rally, and from there we saw a retest of this 100-week before the continuation occurred again, all the way up to its new high. So it's absolutely expected that we retest that 100, which was at 77. Hindsight, I did get in a little earlier than I wanted, but I was able to add a little more upon, coming lower below this resistance, and really took a kind of more sizable position around 8,000 when we saw that we were kind of bouncing off this 100, because I didn't want to see us just go straight down and lose out on more profits. So, scaled back in around 8,000 because I am expecting some sort of retest of this $9,300 area, and I think it's quite possible that we do get a rejection there. So like I said, I want to tether heavy again when we get this retest, and then we can start moving down and seeing, are we gonna stay hovering over this 100-week moving average, or are we gonna reclaim this, or are we gonna break below this 100-week and kind of wick down to the $6,500 area, which I think is absolutely possible given the level of support it held during this bear market in this descending triangle before it broke down again. So is it possible that we see a rejection at the 21-week breakdown and then a retest of the 200? That's absolutely possible. I do think that, although this time it held support, it also had this 21-week, which was pretty strong support. So I think it's quite possible we see like maybe a few wicks under the 100-day moving average. I think it's quite possible we see a wick down to the $6,500 range if we break below the 100. So I would start thinking about scaling back in again right there, or I want to be completely in my position if we reclaim this 21-week and start that continuation up again. So that's kind of the strategy we want to hold. Honestly, this is a new paradigm. It's quite possible that we do see a rejection and we see one more touch of this 200-week. I do want to entertain that possibility just because, we're seeing a healthy correction, and I think this is really the best thing we could have seen from Bitcoin, because, that first video I made when we talked about, this big run right here being very unhealthy, like this parabolic move, it was very unnatural. But to see it correct now is actually pretty healthy for the movement, because it has time to pull back, kind of hover, consolidate, and it seems to me that for the most part we will eventually see those continuations to highs and new highs. So I'm actually, the further and further we go down, the more and more optimistic I get long term. But in the short term, I do think that's possible. We hit this 21 week, get rejected, break below the 100. And then I'm looking at these two zones, this 200 week and this $5,000 range and the $6,500 range. So I'll be, or that 6,450 range. So I'm gonna want to buy there, and if we break below that, I'm gonna want to tether up again, and then get ready for, if we hit if we hit 4,800 again. I'm going in hard, guys. I think that would be the best case scenario for anyone who really wants to jump in. Is it gonna hit that? I don't know. Personally, I don't think so. I know Bitcoin likes to inflict maximum pain on its users, but if it was, I'd be ready, to really just be fully in the position here, and I'd be okay holding it long term, even if we saw a break below the 200 week. I mean, like I said, it's something that personally I believe in long term. I think there's a lot of value that Bitcoin holds that, cash doesn't, or even gold and silver, which I'm a big fan of, as is, as are a lot of Bitcoin enthusiasts. So I think we got some interesting times coming up. I think we're going to have some great buying opportunities ahead of us as long as we see this rejection here. And like I said, that 21 week is going to be really key. So let me get out this log scale. I know this video's a little longer, but I did want to cover some of these points because I did think it's kind of important, the price action that we're seeing in Bitcoin. So let me just jump on the monthly. And okay, when you look at the monthly, I just found it very interesting that, this $9,300 range did hold as heavy support during in the monthly, and so has this 13, this 13.9 range. We actually saw the rejection right there at the top, almost perfect, so resistant lines, moving averages, basic trend lines. They're your friends, alright? The trend is your friend, guys. I'll actually take that volume out. But the trend is your friend, so is it possible we consolidate here, touch this trend line again somewhere here, I don't know. It's possible. This could be, I think this is going to be a very strong line of support somewhere down the road if we ever get back here. So like I said, that's kind of the thought of the mindset you need as a trader. It's not really having the idea, it's being able to prepare for the, both outcomes. You got to be indifferent to the outcome. That's actually a great way to live your life, to be indifferent to the outcome. But anyways, I'm not here to be like a Marcus Aurelius. I just really want to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. So anyways, guys, I think that's really it for today. So just wanted to talk about this bearish scenario just in case we're not able. Now, if we reclaim this 9,300 and this 21 week, it's on, guys. We're probably going to see that continuation. If we break that 13.9 region, the next real resistance point that I see is, well, what, I got a new router from AT&T and this thing's so slow. But, you know, the next resistance point is going to be 17,000 all-time highs. So this thing could really just start taking off. So, you know, it's possible that we do continue onward, but I think it's best to really just be bearish, because if we're coming at a resistance point in this 21 week, kind of like, you know, not right here, I guess that's not as clear as it could be, but you know, like kind of like seeing the rejection at the resistance and this average, you saw a very strong rejection there. So here is held, you know, I was kind of optimistic it'd hold that support, but it didn't. So now I want to see if it's gonna hold as resistance or we're gonna be able to reclaim it, and maybe this level is just irrelevant and we're never gonna see it again. But I'd kind of expect a rejection here. That's why we want to tether heavy, just because the odds are more in favor of, you know, kind of false bull trap almost, and then continuation downward, just so Bitcoin can inflict maximum pain on its users. The volatility is really what kills people, but volatility could also be your best friend, right? So, you know, that's really all for today. What do you guys think is going to happen? You know, post a comment down below. I know only like 5 of you watch and 3 of you are my grandma, mom, and stepmom, but let me know what you guys think. Alright, so that's all. You guys have a good week. Good luck trading, good luck, you know, making money, working hard, enjoy your time with your family, whatever it may be. But you guys have a good one.